Now that Donald Trump has become the first president in the history of the United States to be impeached twice, the question that keeps popping out is what is next? Both the parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, are exercising their constitutional rights granted by the people of the country in a way that both of them see fit. The House, controlled by the Democrats, has impeached the president, while the Senate Majority Leader has decided to not bring the Senate back before January 19th, timing it perfectly, pushing the ball back to the Democratic court, asking them, hey, are you ready to do this just when your man gets his time under the spotlight? Do you want to revel in your own spotlight, or do you want to share it with Donald Trump and the riots? The Senate offers certain emergency powers to the majority leader and the minority leader. So, if Mitch McConnell really wanted to get a trial going immediately, he could have done so by working with Chuck Schumer. But he has decided against it and squarely pushed the ball to the Democrats. But he is well within his rights to do so. A political calculation by Mitch McConnell that will transfer the responsibility of the Senate impeachment trial to the Democrats instead of carrying it on his shoulders. Because after the January 19th, the power of the Senate will shift to the Democrats, and Mitch McConnell can walk around the Republican parts of the country, making the case subtly that it was not him, but the Democrats who were responsible for whatever that happened in the Senate. Georgia has until January 22nd to certify the results, though I expect it to happen a little earlier than that. After the results are certified, both Ossoff and Warnock can take their seats. So it will happen sometime in the next week. And after the wind blows and the clock ticks, a year or two from now, no one is going to remember that Mitch McConnell allowed a week to slip between the time the House impeached Donald Trump and when the Senate started the trial. But I have one problem with Mitch McConnell's approach. By inducing a slight delay in the process, Mitch is now asking the Democrats to do it all by themselves and also share the spotlight with Donald Trump as early as Biden is inaugurated. And while doing so, he will absolve himself in the eyes of hardcore Republican fans. The Democrats have no reason to be in a hurry to do anything now. Their house has already impeached him. So the public understands that they acted and they acted soon. There were reports that Biden actually called Mitch McConnell to find out if the Senate will be willing to conduct his nomination hearings and the impeachment trial side by side. But we don't know what came out of that discussion. But that call makes it clear to us that Biden is not averse to the Senate impeachment trial running concurrently during his first few months in the office. And I sincerely hope that the Democrats now take a chill pill and slow things down, allow Biden to start, get his cabinet and other nominations through, and mount an aggressive operation against the pandemic. Keep the pandemic and the economy as their number one priority. And maybe after 100 days or maybe even after that, delay it as long as possible. Keep the Senate trial threat hanging over all the politicians who supported, aided, and abetted the January 6th events as long as possible. Work up the votes one vote at a time, because to convict Trump in the Senate, they will need 17 Republicans to side with them. So, taking enough time to gather all their votes, and once they know that they have their 17, then they must make the move and kickstart the trial. It really makes no sense to start the trial now, and it will be a stupid decision if pursued immediately. Thankfully, Mitch McConnell has given the Democrats more control over the timing of the trial. My suggestion would be for the Democrats put Biden, his nominations, and his agenda as the first priority. Get the DOJ and the FBI to work meticulously over the next 6 months to book every person who committed a criminal offense. Keep working the case, keep bringing the criminals to the book. And as the criminals at the lower end are taken care of, then keep moving up the ladder and don't stop until it goes all the way to the top. This way, the Democrats will have enough evidence on their hands. They can use the time to build a proper case, work up the votes, gauge public sentiment, and spring the trial on the country at the best time of their choosing. The Republican Party has already reached the crossroads. It has zero chance of holding all the different factions that have emerged within. There is a group of senators and leaders like Mitt Romney, Ben Sass, and Lisa Murkowski who want the party to get back to its fight on principles old self. There is a group of leaders who believe that you have to remain tactical at every possible opportunity. This group will remain more than happy to stay silent in public, but will keep working the legislation, keep packing the courts, and do whatever they can to pull the levers of power. Then there is a group that wants to take the mantle of Trumpism without Trump, to keep Republican Party within the nationalistic belief system that Donald Trump ran on. This is the direction that Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz want to pursue. And then there is another part, which is just the Donald Trump cult. You can put all the Trump kids, Jim Jordan, and representatives who believe in conspiracy theories, and all of them inside that bucket. Trump wants this group to succeed, and with his support, this is the part of the GOP that will remain most effective and extremely loud over the next 2 to 4 years, trying to take down the other parts of the GOP. So, as you can see, none of these groups can coexist with the other. And that cannot continue for a very long time. The fact that they were in control of the Senate and the presidency over the last 4 years was the only reason why these factions did not eat each other up. But as the GOP continues to lose elections, the longer it takes to regain the position of power, the more difficult it will become for the party to sustain all these four different parts. In 2022, as the midterms approach, the fight between these factions will escalate as each of these groups try to gain an upper hand over the other. Aided and abetted by Trump, the internal war will escalate. If the GOP loses the Congress again, everyone will accuse the other side as the reason for failure. And as we approach 2024, this war will further escalate, ripping the party into multiple factions and each one trying to pull the other one down instead of fighting with the Democrats. If 2024 is lost, then the odds of Republican Party staying together post 2024 looks extremely slim. Biden can indeed help accelerate the demise of the Republican Party by working with the center right Republicans such as Mitt Romney and Ben Sass. Heck, if he works up the phone lines, he can even tap Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Pat Toomey, Rob Portman, and the likes. Biden can use these senators to strengthen the center right part of the GOP as Trump tries to strengthen the far right part of the GOP. If that happens, the odds of the Republican Party giving birth to another party looks extremely possible, or at the very least, it will change the GOP from inside because the GOP will have no choice to survive as a coalition of four different parties in one. The fallout after Trump and other politicians stirred up Trump supporters in a speech ahead of the deadly riots that broke out in the US Capitol last week is slowly escalating. And no one really knows how much of a cost the GOP will be made to pay due to president's action. It is still early days, but so far, whatever the cost that has been accumulated seems a little heavy. But I guess the current GOP earned every penny of it. By the time the final invoice arrives at the GOP headquarters, it may be 4 years and we may have a fractured GOP signing off on it. Thanks for watching. If you like it, please subscribe.